Hey gang, my name is Dan Nichols and I'm the president of Northeast Collaborative.
I'm Mike Schooley. I am the church strategist for NEC.
Years ago, God took me on a long personal journey where I went from hating the church to loving the church and now serving the church. And God has just burdened my heart for the Northeast, especially the most unchurched, unreached, post-Christian corner of the nation currently. And so Northeast Collaborative was launched from this vision of seeing a healthy church in every town of Northeast America. And we want to empower pastors to lead and launch healthy churches right here where we live, work, and play. So we're excited to talk about what God has done, where over the last 4 years, man, God's done incredible things through Northeast Leadership Summit, Pastor and Wives Marriage Retreat, processing times, cohorts, so many programmatic things. But one of the things we value most are simply the relationships and the soul care and the health that we're seeing in pastors, leaders, and churches. And we want to see that multiplied. We want to see that grow. So in this next season, we're seeing God bring people like Mike Schooley to our team to be our church strategist. And Mike, I'd love for you to share a little bit more of your heart and your passion for where we're heading with Northeast Collaborative.
One of my favorite stories in the Old Testament is 1 Samuel 14. It's about Jonathan and his sword bearer. They didn't have a lot of resources. They didn't have weapons, but what they had was a hunger to accomplish something great for God. And so as they looked across, they decided that they were going to do something about the huge need that they were seeing in their nation. Now, in the midst of that, Saul and his other leaders in the army were sitting underneath a pomegranate tree, drinking pina coladas and enjoying safety and comfort. But Jonathan looks over and tells his sword bearer, he says, "Perhaps the Lord will act on our behalf." And the sword bearer says, "I am with you, heart and soul." As we look at the NEC, we have a huge mission. We may be under-resourced, we may not have enough money or enough people in our churches, but I believe as we pursue God's calling and His mission for the church, we have the incredible opportunity to see God do more than we ask or imagine. I think perhaps the Lord will act on our behalf. And what we're asking is, will you go with us, heart and soul?
I'm so excited that God has brought Mike onto our team as a church strategist, and he's brought many leaders together. But especially as we look to the future, Mike and I were saying, we need to do one of those fun, awkward conversations. Now, any of you who know me know I love awkward conversations, and any of you who are youth pastors know how amazing DTRs can be, right? DTRs define the relationship talks, right? You've had to coach so many through that. Well, on a network level, we want to have a DTR with all of you and just let you know that we are building out two different pathways, a church pathway and a pastor pathway. So on the church pathway side, we want to help churches run your race. RACE, resourcing, accountability, conferences, and encouragement. We want to provide that so that we will see a healthy church in every town of Northeast America. So we believe God is on the move, and He wants churches to not only be healthy, and we have a very holistic definition and vision of what a healthy church is, but a big component of that is a multiplying church. To see us multiplying disciples, multiplying leaders, and multiplying churches in this specific corner of America. So we have a church pathway that'll be coming to you very shortly, and it's graphically laid out so you can understand it better. We'd love for you to take a dive into that and ask us more questions about what that may look like for your church. But we also have a pastor pathway. So Mike, tell us a little bit more about that.
While we're walking alongside churches to help them grow to become what God has designed them to be, we also believe it's important to walk alongside pastors. We know in this season, pastors are more lonely, frustrated, discouraged, possibly heading toward depression and really burnout and leaving the ministry. And we don't believe that's what the kingdom of God is designed to be. We believe that we're designed to do life together. And so we want to move a pastor who is feeling isolated, alone, discouraged, or frustrated, and to walk in relationship with them. Well, we provide soul care, we want to do retreats with them, and just kind of do life together. And not only do we want to do life together, we also believe there is power in us serving alongside each other. We all have different gifts. We all have different abilities that we bring to the kingdom. And I believe as we join those gifts together, God can do incredible things in and through our churches, but even bigger than that, through the Northeast. And so we want to ask you to get involved. Just join us relationally, be part of the marriage retreats or the processing times, and get to know the family, because I think the family is incredible.
And not only do we have that familial option, that friendship option, which is at no cost to you, there's also the other track that we want to develop even further, which is the mission. and to have you join us in the mission and move from just being friends and being family to actually going on mission together. And that takes some financial investment, whatever God lays on your heart. That takes more of your presence at strategic initiatives that we are endeavoring to do to move the ball forward. And then also seeing that multiplication happen. How can we take what God is doing and see it replicated in the lives of others? So it's kind of a two-track thing. We have many options that we'll send to you, and you'll see graphically on both the pastor pathway and the church pathway, where you can jump in relationally at no cost to you. But then there's another track, the missional track, where we're going to go shoulder to shoulder and we're going to count the cost, and we're actually going to invest time, talent, and treasure in seeing this vision of a healthy church in every town of Northeast America in your neck of the woods. So we'd love for you to join us in that. And Mike, I'd love for you to share more of how they can take that next step.
We are praying Ephesians 3, 20 and 21 over our network, that He will do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine according to His power that is at work within us. And we want to invite you to keep the conversation going. You can email me at mike@anycollaborative.com, and we will love to have the conversation with you. I hope that you come and join us on this great mission that God has for us.